Good afternoon, everyone. The today topic is it is a continuation of excretory system, that is a juxtaglomerular apparatus. Okay, juxtaglomerular apparatus. Juxtaglomerular apparatus. It is a specialized structure in the kidney. Okay, it is a specialized structure or modified myoepithelial cells of afferent arterioles. Okay, it is a modified myoepithelial cells of afferent arteriole. So that means the juxtaglomerular apparatus is made up of three types of cells are there. Okay, there are three types of cells. So the first cell is juxtaglomerular cells, JG cells. Okay, juxtaglomerular cells. The juxtaglomerular cells are modified myoepithelial cells or a smooth muscle, or you can write it is a smooth muscle cells of afferent arteriole. Okay, smooth muscle cell of afferent arteriole. So where is afferent arteriole is present? So you know, so this is the Bowman's capsule. So the on entering, this is the vessels, blood vessels that form a afferent arteriole. So then it's a tuft of capillaries. Then this is efferent arteriole. So to this afferent arteriole, there is a specialized cells. Okay, the specialized cells we call it as JG cells. Okay, specialized cells call it as JG cells. So that mainly secrete renin, so very important hormone in the long term regulation of BP. Okay, so it secrete renin. The second one is macula densa. Okay, macula densa. So macula densa is also a specialized or modified epithelial cells of DCT, distal convoluted cells or tubules. Okay, distal convoluted tubule. It acts as a sensor. Okay, so you know this is the Bowman's capsule. So Bowman's capsule is continuous and it form a like this. So this is a descending limb. This is a loop of Henle. So this is distal convoluted cells. So between in here there is a macula densa is present. Okay, in the distal DCT, the this is not cells. Okay, DCT. Okay, so distal convoluted tubule, there is a macula densa is present. Okay, macula densa is present. So this is macula, the blue color one is macula densa. Next is the mesangial cells or Lacey's cell. So this mesangial cell is present between the JG cell and macula densa. Okay, JG cell and macula densa. So it will connect these two structures. Macula densa and JG cells are connected by Lacey's cell. So that mainly secrete the prostaglandins. Clear? So this is very important question for your exam. Okay, juxtaglomerular apparatus. So juxtaglomerular apparatus are the specialized or structures in the kidney. So which is composed of three different types of cells. The first one is juxtaglomerular cells. So it is modified smooth muscles of afferent arteriole that mainly secrete renin. Macula densa, so it is also a modified epithelial cells of DCT, acts as a sensor. Then mesangial cells is present between JG cells and macula cells here. So this is JG cells, this is macula densa. Between this, the Lacey cell is present. So that mainly connect these two structures. So this is how it looks. So this is proximal convoluted tubules will continuous and ascending. So then it will form a, so like this. This is actually distal convoluted tubules. Like this it will come. Okay. So continuation. So here you can see. So this is afferent arteriole. blood vessels. The blood will enter here in the they form a tuft of capillaries. So yesterday class I told. So that is a glomerulus. Then if this is efferent arteriole. Okay. So here, so this is a JG cells. You can see JG cells. This is macula densa. So this is a distal convoluted tubule. So macula densa is present. Then in between these two there is a lacis cells is present. So each one function is very important. The first is JG cells. Okay. So mainly it will secretion of renin. Okay. So mainly the JG cells secrete the renin. So you have to write the renin function. Then the second one is that is mainly by mainly by the macula densa, that is tubuloglomerular feedback mechanism. Tubulo means tubules, glomerular means in the glomerulus. So the tubules feedback, that means so the tubules when the filtrate reach the tubular portion, so that will give a feedback to the glomerulus. Okay. That is the rate of flow through the ascending limb of loop of Henle and DCT increases. The glomerular filtration in the same nephron decreases. I will explain. It will maintain the constancy of the load delivered to the distal tubule. So that means so you can see the diagram here. Now whenever the GFR increases, okay, so the first one, the GFR increases, so what will happen? The filtration rate increases. So it will pass through flow through the tubules. Okay. When it flow, then the flow towards the macula densa. So this is macula densa. Okay. So the flow here, when the filtrate reach the distal tubule, the macula densa acts as a sensor. Okay. So acts as a sensor, and so it will give a feedback. You can see here the fourth one, 4th point, give a feedback towards the JG cell. Okay. Give a feedback. Fourth one. So paracrine or the macula densa acts as a sensor, so that will detect that so the flow is increased or sodium concentration is increased. Okay. So in the filtrate, sodium is present. So if the flow is increases, sodium reabsorption is not taking place properly. So that is sensed by macula densa, and it will give a feedback to JG cells. Now the JG cells, what it will do? It will cause a afferent arteriole to constrict. Okay. Now the afferent arteriole will constrict. So when it constrict, the flow through the afferent arteriole decreases. Flow of blood through afferent arteriole decreases. That increases resistance. So the hydrostatic pressure in the glomerulus decreases, and that will decrease. The hydrostatic pressure is opposing. So the GFR is decreases. Okay. So that is the tubulo. So from the tubules, tubuloglomerular feedback mechanism. So this is also an important question. Okay. So tubuloglomerular feedback mechanism. Here there is the tubules, between the tubules and the glomerulus. So whenever the flow through the tubules increases, so that is sensed by macula densa. Okay. Whenever the GFR increases, so flow through the tubule increases, that is macula densa will sense the flow, increase in flow, and give a feedback to JG cells. So now JG cells will cause the afferent arteriole to constrict. So increase in the resistance, so the flow decreases, the GFR decreases. Okay. So this is the main function of macula densa. The next one is functions of renin. Okay. So this one I already told in BP class. So blood pressure, mainly the renin through renin angiotensin mechanism. Okay. Renin angiotensin mechanism. So it will we will see the pathway, the same thing. Okay, so whenever there is a BP decreases, blood flow to kidney decreases, so that will release the renin. Okay, JG cell release the renin, so that renin acts on angiotensinogen converted into angiotensin 1. So this angiotensin will converted into angiotensin 2. So this angiotensin 2, what it will do? It cause a severe vasoconstriction and increase the BP. Just you write is enough. Okay, it cause vasoconstriction, so increase BP, and water and electrolyte retention. Okay, so water and electrolyte retention that increase the cardiac output, so BP decreases. So that's this much you have to write. The question is JGA apparatus. So what you have to do, the diagram. Okay, you have to write the 3 names of the cell and the functions of JG cell and macula densa. Understood? That's complete the JGA cells, JGA apparatus. The next we will see the tubular function. Okay, so first step in urine formation is GFR, glomerular filtration. Then the second one is now the filtration is going to tubular portion. So when it is going to tubular portion, so many changes of this filtrate is taking place. So we will see what are the tubular function. So one is a selective reabsorption. Okay, for essential constituents or essential products will be reabsorbed. Okay, so that is also selective. So not all the what substances is reabsorbing. Okay, only the selective reabsorption and selective secretion. Okay, selective secretion. So this secreted part go as a waste products into the through the urine. So first we will see the tubular secretion. So in the tubular secretion, so first we have to see what is renal threshold. Okay, renal threshold. So renal threshold means it is a concentration of substance in plasma. Okay, concentration of substance in plasma at or above which it starts getting excreted in urine. So that means, so you have some capacity to hold, suppose there is a 10 kg of rice bag is there. Okay, this is the example I am giving. 10 kg of rice bag is there. So you have a capacity that you can hold 10 kg of rice. That is your threshold. Okay, so at this threshold 10 kg bag you can hold. That is your threshold. So like that, so for some substances, their concentration of substance in plasma, so till suppose sodium is there. So sodium it has 300 milligram of sodium can be held by plasma. So that means, so it will get reabsorbed. All the sodium will reabsorb. So if it is 300, so all 300 sodium ions get reabsorbed in the renal. That is its capacity to reabsorb, its threshold. Like your 10 kg rice you can hold. So above this, so above 10 kg, so if it is 12 kg or if it is equal, so you can't hold, right? You can't hold. So what you will do, you will lose 2 kg. Okay, so you will discard 2 kg, you hold only 10 kg. So the 2 kg of rice or 2 kg is going to excrete. So same thing, the plasma can hold 300 mg of ions of sodium it can hold. Okay, so mg% can be it hold. So above the 300, so what it will do, so it will not reabsorb, it starts getting excreted in urine. Okay, so that is called renal threshold. Understood? So next is the tubular maximum. So tubular maximum means it is a maximum quantity of a substance that can be transported. Okay, so that can be transported by the renal tubule per minute. So per minute or 1 minute, so how much amount of substances can be transported by the renal tubules, we call it as tubular maximum, TM. So that means the active reabsorption or secretion of substance by the renal tubule has some maximum capacity. So that means maximum 300 mg of ion it can hold. So it can transport or it can reabsorb. So remaining, if it is extra is there, so it will go through urine. Okay, it can't hold. So that is called tubular maximum. So tubular maximum or TM is different for different substance. For sodium it is different, for glucose it is different. So like tubular maximum is different for different substance. So understood, renal threshold and tubular maximum. So per minute how much the maximum quantity of substances it can transport is called tubular maximum. So next, coming to the tubular reabsorption. So tubular reabsorption is mainly depends on tubular load of substance. So tubular load means, so how much amount of substances can be present. So in that, so reabsorption is taking place, some mechanisms are there. One is the active transport and passive transport. In the active transport, it is mainly by utilizing ATP. So energy is required by using ATP energy. So the substances like sodium, potassium, calcium, phosphate and bicarbonate ions are transported or reabsorbed in the renal tubules by active transport. In that active transport, primary and secondary are there. So next is the passive transport. So passive transport is without the expenditure of energy. So passively the substances is moving from higher concentration to lower concentration. So that is through passive transport, water, urea and chloride are transported in the renal tubules. So apart from that, there is a simple diffusion is also you can also can be seen. Okay, the simple diffusion, here the movement of the substances across the cell through a channels or special pores. So like water channels are present in the collecting duct. So through that the water get reabsorbed, and also there is a carrier mediated like antiport and symport. So antiport means here some carrier substance is there. So two ions will bind here. Okay. So two ions will bind here. Anti means one. Okay. So one ion will bind and it is transported to other part. The symport means here there are two substances, two different substances are attached to same carrier in same direction it is moving. So then transcellular and paracellular. So transcellular means across the cell. Okay. Now the two cells are present. So two cells are present. So across the cell it is transported. Our paracellular is means at the adjacent. So here the two cells are meeting. So to the adjacent cells, the paracellular the cells are moving. Okay. So like this it is transported along the, so this is the tubular portion. Okay. So here it is go back to the blood. Okay, or from the blood it is get reabsorbed. The first one, so in this tubular reabsorption only the three components you have to study. One is the sodium reabsorption, glucose reabsorption and water reabsorption is enough. Okay. So other thing is given in a textbook, so don't read that one. Only sodium reabsorption, glucose and water. So coming to the sodium reabsorption,